Inertia, aka Reverse Impulse, aka Thad Thawne, is an evil teen speedster clone of Bart Allen, and it is weirdly labeled as Kid Reverse Flash or Reverse Kid Flash on certain sites and YouTube videos. However, he's never actually gone by that in the comics. He's gone by Reverse Impulse because he fights Impulse, not Kid Flash. However, he did go by Kid Zoom at one point as well, but he has never gone by Kid Reverse Flash or Reverse Kid Flash. Also, the thing I can't get over is his actual name, and that is Thad Thawne. I don't know why, but the name Thad Thawne makes me laugh. Bad Thad. Stop Thad. Don't kill again, Thad. It's not a joke. He's about to kill. But regardless, I feel like the name Thad Thawne really speaks volume to the idea that these are going to be future names like Bart Thawne. But Thad Thawne kind of just... It doesn't work on the same level as Bart, I think. Because it's such an odd name. And I'm really sorry if any of you guys are named Thad. And if you guys are named Thad Thawne, I'm very sorry. But to me, it just sounds wrong to say, like I'm mispronouncing a name when I'm not. It's actually pronounced Thad Thawne. Anyways, Thad Thawne debuted in Impulse issue 52 in 1999. The feud between the Thawne and Allen families crossed down generations, even to the 30th century. In this time, the President of America is a Thawne, who tries to make a deal with Bart to help him, due to the fact that Bart is half Thawne and half Allen, and thinking that maybe he's willing to go bad. But he isn't. So President Thawne decides to create a clone of Bart, but has full Thawne DNA. Which, when you think about it, that would have to mean he used the DNA of two Thawnes who were related to make this clone. Anyways, the clone is Thad Thawne, whose parents are most likely related. Yeah, that's never actually brought up, but you would presume they would have to be in order for a quote-unquote full-blood Thawne. So, let's just not talk about that anymore. Thad was raised as the son of the president. He was raised to hate Impulse and the Allen family, along being taught not only to be a powerful speedster, but an intelligent rival. Thad would travel to the past where he would stay in the shadows, watching Bart from a distance, taking notes on his powers, skills, and intelligence. He would have an arc in the Impulse series with his end goal coming to happen, and that is he would kidnap Bart and take his place, looking similar to that of Bart. He ends up getting the trust of Max and leads him to a trap, trying to kill him. But that doesn't work as Bart does escape his prison that put him in, only to call out Thad for being a sorry excuse of an imposter. As despite his upbringing, he only intended to be Bart. Therefore, at the end of the day, he really was just nothing but a Bart imposter. He wasn't his own character, he wasn't his own person. Something that Bart calls him out for, which actually hurts Thad's feelings, who runs away. Which, I actually like that detail. I like the idea that Thad had feelings because, at the end of the day, he is practically a teenage boy. And it makes sense to me that he could be an emotional character due to the fact that his upbringing was pretty rough, considering the fact that he's not a normal person. He was created in a lab, and his parents were both Thawnes, which, like I said before, doesn't that imply they were related? I mean, I know that I said I don't want to talk about it anymore, but I'm still so confused by that. Because they, brought in Bart's DNA, but he's Bart's clone, not his son. However, he's somehow, part of the Thawne family because he got Thawne DNA in him, but is a full Thawne. How does that work exactly? Okay, I'll stop talking about it now. Regardless, I do like that Thad is an emotional person due to the fact that, like I said, his upbringing was rough and he was only intended to be a second Bart. And that Bart was to be somebody that Bart wasn't because he declined his father's offer. So at the end of the day, he's practically the redo of his father's mistake, or attempted mistake. As his father did attempt to make Bart his own son, or more or less a son figure, but Bart declined that, so he only created Thad to be his replacement or a possible replacement for Bart. Something that he was not very good at because Thad and Bart are so different in nature that is, in my opinion, very interesting that Thad even realizes that now. Anyways, afterwards, Thad will return under his more or less known name that is Inertia. This time as a member of Deathstroke's Titans East, a team that consisted of a drugged-out Cassandra Cain, the daughter of Riddler Enigma, another clone that being Match, the clone of Superboy, Sun Girl Unknown Origins, Kid Crusade, and Deathstroke himself. Here he would also now be romantically involved with Sun Girl. Also, he has now lost the speed after Bart has taken the Speed Force for himself, meaning he's no longer connected. Deathstroke helps him by giving him Velocity 9 to give him his artificial speed. Also, this means Deathstroke is technically giving not one but two teenagers drugs because he also drug Cassandra Cain in order for her to join them. During this Titans East arc, we don't really get much from Thad. Instead, he's really a filler member, same as his girlfriend, Sun Girl, who we don't even get an origin for. Well, the focus is more on the Titans themselves, Deathstroke, Cassandra Cain, and somewhat Duella Dent and Enigma's friendly enemy side plot. That would, however, disappear after the Titans did win and the East team disbanded. However, it's unclear if him and Sun Girl went together or if he went solo. He wouldn't appear again until Bart's time as the new Flash, who kidnapped Bart's friend. However, his evil plan wasn't even close to successful. Instead, Bart easily won against him, which made him see that he was outmatched and decided that he needed a team of his own. But not Titans East, but a new Rogues team, which Iris warns Bart that he can't face them. But Bart doesn't listen because people are in danger. And Iris was accurate. This new team actually kills Bart Allen after he sees Black Flash, only for Wally to get his revenge in a way that is worse than death. He doesn't just take away Thawne's speed. Instead, he takes away any movement, turning him into a literal statue that's put into the Flash Museum. That is... I mean, he did kill his friend, so I guess it makes sense. But that is harsh and brutal for a hero. Also, don't worry, anyone, Bart wasn't actually dead. I mean, he kind of was, but kind of wasn't. That's a whole different story for another day. It has something to do with what we're talking about today, but don't worry, Bart was okay. He does return in Final Crisis, where Zoom finally frees him from the Flash Museum, only for the Rogues to actually be angry with that. That's because they have a code, no killing children, and he had actually lied to them about Bart's age, as they believed he was an adult in the same Flash as Wally, but he wasn't. He was merely a teenager. So in reply, Pied Piper, who actually gets his own revenge too, who's a hero at this point in front of the Flash family, freezes Thad in place using his music, and then lets the other Rogues, his old friends, murder Thad, who's actually an adult at this point, so that doesn't go against their code. But dang, I thought Wally's revenge was brutal. Pied Piper froze him in place and let his old friends murder him. And Pied Piper, at this moment in time, was also a hero. And that's it for Thad. Personally, I think he's a pretty good villain. However, I can see why he was never brought back after dying, as there are so many evil speedsters. I can see maybe not wanting to have another one. Also, around this time, they were actually trying to limit the amount of speedsters they had running around. Like, for example, Black Flash, Savitar, and Lady Flash were also all killed off during this time. So, that makes sense to me. And compared to other evil speedsters like Zoom and Reverse Flash, I can get why they had him be the one that kicked the bucket. However, I would like to see him again because I think he's actually a pretty good villain, either that of a flashback or a flash forward, or just bring him back to life because I do that all the time. They're also bringing back a lot of speedsters lately, so why not bring him back too? And I really like the Green Lightning because no other speedster has Green Lightning. And another thing is, I will admit, I did like his death. Even though I was sad that he died, I liked the fact that it was the Rogues that killed him, because I think it really shows how the Rogues have a morality code and how they really stick by it and were really upset that Thad manipulated them to go against it. And I like that Pied Piper also was involved, despite the fact that he was a hero now. He saw streaks of a villain, but it wasn't really villainy because the person he was using his powers against was also a villain, but he was doing it in a way that was both heroic and villainous. By freezing him in place, he allowed the Rogues to kill him, because Thad would have just run away. But because of what Pied Piper did to him, he couldn't. So at the end of the day, Pied Piper is partly responsible for his death. And that's it. Like always, please like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Bye.